the state's down there, then what are those mailboxes?
Well, how do you jump from there, right, how do you get there? I guess to bypass that bottom,
Yeah.
right?
Like what kind of cases?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. How do you bypass the appeals from the state court? See, because the line goes, appeals from state courts goes all the way up to Court of Appeals 12th Circuit. right?
Because that's what I'm telling you. These cases are different. So
Right.
what's heard in a state court is totally different from a case that's heard in a territorial district court, and it's totally different from a case that's heard in a tax court. Those are all different courts.
So what cases are heard in the territorial?
That's just it. I don't know exactly.
Okay, so that's.
Yeah, that's the questions that you need to get for them. I just know that they're different courts. They're totally different courts. Okay? But these are questions you need to ask them when they come in, because they'll know this is what they deal with. So they're gonna know what kind of cases, oh, well, it's money. And in a state court, it only goes up to 50,000. And in a territorial, it can go up to 300,000 or whatever. I mean, I'm just throwing stuff out. But that's what's gonna make the difference. Or the penalty on a different kind of, case. And it's just like at the state level. You have a county court, which is lower. So if you have a county court where you were convicted of possession of marijuana, okay, so you had a little baggie of marijuana, well, you're not probably, if that's your first offense, you're probably not gonna go to jail for that. You're gonna have a fine and you're gonna have something else. So it's a lower charge. So the lower charges go to the county courts. So you're gonna be in county court. Now, if you're coming into the US with an 18-wheeler full of marijuana, now you just jumped it up. Actually, you've probably gone federal.
You just cross.
Yeah, because once it gets over a certain amount, then that decides which court it's gonna be in, okay? Like say you get caught with a pound of marijuana, and I'm just throwing these things out, and these are things that you need to ask, like the criminal court reporter that's gonna come and speak. What exactly brings it to that state level? How many pounds does it need to be, or how many ounces does it need to be, or grams does it need to be for it to come up to, one, a felony, which brings it into a civil district criminal court, okay? So these are questions that y'all need to ask when they come, okay? Because I'm not 100%, and that's why I'm having these people come in and speak about this stuff, okay? So get them together now. Any more questions about the courts and the bracket?
It says here that the territorial courts, there's only 3 courts. And they're the ones that are listed here, the federal, local, Guam, and the Northern Mariana Islands. There's only 3 of those, of the territorial courts.
Okay,
I don't know if that helps.
that helped?
What are they for? They don't speak.
I'm guessing when they say territorial, they're not a part of the states really, they're like their own islands, they're off alone somewhere, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I'd be lying if I told you exactly. I just know that they're totally different courts. That's all I know. So we need to get those questions together for, what's next Wednesday?
I think it's the 11th on the double track.
She just texted me back.
11.
The 11th,
Yeah.
Veterans Day.
Okay, sorry about that. She was just texting me back saying that she can't do it the week of Thanksgiving, so I'm hoping that I can get her to come in next Wednesday. But if not, I'll have one of them here. So if she can't do next Wednesday, then I'll have Chris here.
11th or the 18th, you have the 18th as well, it's not Wednesday.
Oh, so it's
Someone's
still,
already coming on
so
the
we're still 2 weeks?
18th,
Yeah, we're still 2 weeks from things.
There's a
Two
calendar
full
right
days.
behind you.
We're the 4th, then you have the 11th, the 18th, and then.
An hour. We've been talking about it an hour. You want to? Gee.
I just noticed it.
So we're here. Okay, so Thanksgiving is that week. So we still have 2 weeks. Yeah, we still have 2 Wednesdays. Okay.
Yeah, even more time than you would think. Not a lot of time, but.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll see what she says. Either way, I mean, she said any Wednesday is good for her, so if it doesn't work out next Wednesday, which is the 11th,
On the 18th.
then she can do it on the 18th, because she can't do it this week, so we'll be good. We'll be good. All right, any questions about that? As best that I can answer them, that I haven't tried to. Here we go.
Just one real quick. On the.
No.
The things that you
No.
do, number 9, it says some people refer to a deposition as an EBT,
Where?
examination
Where you at?
before trial.
Where are you?
309.
Oh,
Which number 9?
C miscellaneous
Oh, okay,
true or false
sorry.
statements.
It's true, right? Number 9, because it told me it's false. I want to make sure I didn't get something missed.
Number 9, the highest court,
No, on C.
oh,
On C, where it says miscellaneous true or false statements.
It's true, right?
That was true.
It said false in the back, so I'm confused.
examination before trial. I mean, that's what it is. It's examination before trial. And in the back, it says false?
Yes.
Book's fine.
I just want to know how reliable this book is if I want to continue reading it.
Burn it now.
Where was the answer to that one?
On page 373, under chapter 35, number 9.
373.
It does say it false. 373, go down to chapter 9, over across
It's chapter 35.
oh, 35, sorry.
Chapter 35.
Yep, I got false too.
Google it, version.
Well, and that'll be one to ask the reporter that's coming. If she's ever heard of it called that.
It is false.
It is, where's it called? It says it right here.
Hmm?
What is a deposition? Also known as examination before trial.
You Googled it?
Yeah.
Well, even on the book on page 160, it says that.
Google doesn't know.
That it's examination before trial?
Yes.
That's just,
Must have been an error in the book.
Shouldn't they check this thing like 1,000 times?
I would think. Examination before trial. A deposition may also be called an examination before trial.
call it publishing.
Yeah. Maybe you can get some cash out of it.
Yeah, I found several, but I never.
Did you really?
I did, and it's confusing me, because that one I could easily find the answer in the book, others I couldn't, but I was pretty sure I was right, but then it told me it was false, or something else.
It's just like that indicating question.
She's coming next week. So the federal court reporter's coming next week, and the freelance is coming next week. All right? Good. And then the other one's gonna come that Monday, I think, of Thanksgiving. So I'll talk to her and see, maybe she can come the following Wednesday or whatever, but if not, then worst comes to worst, then it's gonna be that Monday of that Thanksgiving, okay? So yeah, the federal coming next week, and the freelance. So get your questions together. You have to go through that book again and get your questions together, get them together, okay? Hardware and software considerations, CAT and litigation support. Objectives: discuss the various hardware components that a court reporter should be concerned with, discuss various software applications that a court reporter should be concerned with, list and explain the 5 steps that go into a CAT cycle, discuss a CAT dictionary, explain what is meant by litigation support, and list some of the elements that make up litigation support services, define what makes up a condensed transcript, explain what keyword indexing refers to, and explain what is meant by a digital signature as it relates to the court reporter's signature. We already kind of, talked about some of this, I think, especially the signature. But hardware and software. Computers have significantly affected all aspects of a reporter's work. They are used for organizing and running office, schedule appointments, billing, invoicing, delivery of transcripts, transcript production, and a variety of other tasks. The computer equipment that a reporter uses is similar and in many cases the same computers used by both professions and in the home. When discussing computer systems, it is useful to speak in terms of hardware and software and input and output devices. Hardware refers to the different types of physical equipment that make up the computer system. Typical hardware includes a monitor or a screen, the central processing unit, which is the CPU, that contains the memory of disk drives, a keyboard, mouse, modem, fax, and printer. For all court reporters, a shorthand machine is also considered a hardware device that is an integral part of the computer system when it is connected to the computer with special cables to allow for writing and translation on the computer. The various pieces of hardware can be further divided into input and output devices. Anything that deals with putting data into the computer system is considered an input device. The keyboard, the joystick, the mouse, the disk drives, and the shorthand machines are all considered input devices. Pieces of equipment that help to produce a workable copy of the data that was input into the computer are called output devices. The screen, the printer, and the modem are considered output devices. Any questions about that? Pretty self-explanatory. Go ahead.
No, I don't. I feel like you're waiting for me to ask, but I don't.
I am. No, you know what? I make fun, but I'm making fun just to kind of laugh, okay? Guys, if you have questions, don't be scared to ask. Because like I told you guys in the beginning, which you're not, but like I told you guys in the beginning, the dumbest question is the one not asked, okay? Because if you're thinking it, or you don't get it, there's more than likely somebody else isn't getting it either, okay? So, software refers to the internal and external programs that are run on the computer. Typical software programs include word processing programs, spreadsheet applications, and for the court reporter, computer-aided transcription programs. Okay? Pretty self-explanatory there. Okay? The technology of computers is rapidly changing. Modern computers contain more memory, run faster, and are less expensive than earlier models. Guys, I'm telling you, the day that I got out of school, I think I bought $17,000 worth of equipment. That same thing today would probably cost you about maybe 10. And it's so much better, it's so much faster, and it's just so much more technological, I guess. Unbelievable. I'm telling you, and I think I had a computer that was called a 386. How long have you guys been around? I know you know what it is, right? Holy cow. That thing was about the size of this desk. Bless you. And, it was in that green writing. It had the green writing on there wasn't any color to it. Yeah, it was black with green. Ridiculous.
We thought it was hot stuff.
Oh man, it was the biggest, baddest thing then. It was awesome. And, to boot up the computer, it took about 20 minutes. Now it's just boom, and you're ready to go. So, it's come a long way. It's come a long way, and you have the biggest, baddest stuff for a lot cheaper than what we paid for it. Okay? It is important for the court reporter to keep abreast of changing technology in the field of court reporting because it directly affects different tasks that the court reporter performs when taking down dictation and producing an accurate record. Reporters should be aware of the basics of operating systems, the different sizes of memory, and the common computer terms that are used when talking about memory, disk, storage, and other common concepts. The reporter should also be familiar with what their particular software application can do in terms of computer-aided transcription. You always try to keep abreast as best you can, with changing times, changing technology, always, And I'm probably one of the worst about it. I've gotten a lot better. But I was of that kind, you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I can get it out, don't worry about it. But when I would upgrade, it's like, oh my God, this is so much easier. Why didn't I do this years ago? And you always feel that way. But some people, and I was one, I was scared of technology. I was scared of changing times. I was. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, oh man, I'm on the cutting edge of everything. No, not always. I'm better now. I'm a lot better now. And try to stay abreast as best I can of things that are changing. Just because it's changing because it makes it easier. So change isn't always bad, But, sometimes change can be scary, to some of us. And that's just kind of the way it is. When you're of that concept that, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type thing, then you can get left behind sometimes. But like I said, times have changed so much. When I started back then, I had no idea what an SD card was. Or, we didn't have all of that stuff. We didn't have, all of the backups that we have now. So, you had to back it up on a disk. Now you have these external hard drives that can hold gobs and gobs of information. And those SD cards can hold gobs of information. And like I told you guys, we used to use the floppy disk. If you got an SD card the size of that floppy disk and could use that, you'd never need anything else. Ever. If that little thing like that, mine, I'm sure they're bigger now, but the ones that I use are 32 gig. That holds ridiculous amounts of information. Could you imagine what one the size of a floppy disk would be? 8,000, whatever. But that's just the way, times have changed. Computer basics. The court and real-time reporter needs to take a number of things into consideration when considering the purchase of a computer for business and work. The modern-day applications of court and real-time reporting require the use of a personal computer or laptop computer. The personal computer, or PC, is a large, more stationary unit that will usually remain in the office or at home. Work can be generated on the PC by using a CAD system of writing and reading, as explained later. Some courts use PCs that are a permanent part of the court setup. The judge, attorneys, and court reporters all have personal computers with a monitor. A notebook or laptop computer is used when portability is needed. The notebook computer allows the real-time reporter to bring everything with him or her, set up, and begin real-timing. Some court reporters use notebook computers in their courts, and freelance reporters are often take their laptop computers with them on their jobs. Communication Access Real-Time Translation, CART, providers use notebook computers because they are often called on to provide real timing on a one-to-one basis. So it's, you know, a lot of times it's just easier to take a small notebook for you. Like if you're just doing it, you know, real time for you and you just need a, you know, something small, you know, a notebook is just as good. You know, I use, you know, just a regular laptop, and that's okay too. Now, smaller is better. You know, it's just so much easier to have, you know, that smaller thing. It doesn't take up as much space. You know, it's right there. You know, you can type on it. You have a regular keyboard that you can plug into it. So it's a regular size keyboard, but it's just a small monitor where you can see it. Strain your eyes a little bit. Yeah. Is it easier on a laptop? Probably. But it takes up less space. So it's, you know, it's easier. It's good. You know, you just wrap up your little notebook, on you go. You know, rather than have a stationary PC that's right there and you have the modem right there and, you know, a little bit different. Okay, so it's just easier to carry these notebooks now and these laptops. Computers save information in a number of places within the central processing unit. One of the main storage areas is the hard drive. The hard drive of a computer can store information in the form of software programs, applications, and computer operating systems. If a court and real-time reporter is using a specialized software program to write real-time, the hard drive is the place where the application and all its subsequent files are stored. Guys, that's true. You know, and even if your computer crashes, you can still get to your hard drive. So you can still get things off of that hard drive. Okay? So, I mean, I was doing a case, and I think I told you guys, you know, and it was due the next day. And I'm finishing it up, I'm putting the corrections in, and my computer goes out. Man, what's up? So I'm thinking it's the cord. So I jiggle the cord a little bit, well, it comes back on. Reboots, goes back in, and instead of backing up the job like I should have done, I thought, oh man, it was just a cord, no big deal. I'll put in the corrections, be done, it's no big deal. Went out again. This time it didn't come back on. So now I'm freaking out, had to call a buddy, he's like, man, take it up to Best Buy. You know, they have that Geek Squad there or whatever, so I took it up there and the guy's like, dude, it won't even boot up. I can get it to come on, it kind of starts in a boot and then it shuts off again. He said, your hard drive, it just crashed. Dude, I'm working on this job, I've got to have it. I have another computer, but I need to get that job. So he said, oh yeah. I said, look, back everything up, just thinking it's gonna be click and drag.